Hello, welcome to GP Podcast. Today, we delve into a story of unprecedented ambition, a story about the most audacious AI model ever attempted. And it all kicks off not with some grand launch, but with a very mysterious delay.
So, you've heard all the hype around ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude, right? While they're all getting smarter by the month, something else, something much bigger, has been happening in the shadows. Elon Musk's xAI has quietly pushed back the launch of its next-gen model, Grok 5. And the reason why? Well, it's not just some simple setback. It actually reveals a monumental undertaking, an attempt to build something that might just change, well, everything.
All right, so to really get what's going on, we've got to start by looking at the timeline. In the absolutely breakneck world of AI, a schedule change like this isn't just a minor hiccup. No, it's a massive signal that the team has hit a wall so immense, so complex, that you can't just work harder to get over it.
Okay, so look at this. The original plan was to release by the end of 2025. Now, we're looking at the first quarter of 2026. Now, a few months might not sound like a big deal, right? But in AI development, that is an eternity. It tells us they're not just ironing out a few bugs. They are wrestling with fundamental engineering challenges on a scale that, honestly, we've probably never seen before.
And Elon Musk himself has been pretty open about the struggle. Listen to this quote. This isn't some confident boast you typically hear. It hints at the sheer, raw difficulty of what they're trying to do. They're building something so complex that the word survival is actually part of the equation.
So what exactly is this machine that's causing so much trouble? This, right here, is where the story goes from a simple product delay into something that sounds like pure science fiction. We're going to look inside the machine, at the raw numbers that define this Colossus.
Let's just start with this number, 6 trillion. That's the reported number of parameters in Grok 5. Now, you can think of parameters as the individual knobs and dials an AI uses to learn and make connections. At 6 trillion, it's roughly double the size of its predecessor, Grok 4. We are talking about a model of just absolutely colossal scale.
So how in the world do you train a 6 trillion parameter model? Well, you need this. 200,000 of Nvidia's most powerful GPUs, all linked together in a supercluster they fittingly call Colossus 2. And get this, they reportedly built this entire system in just 7 months. That in itself is an astonishing feat of engineering.
Raw power is one thing, but an AI's memory is a totally different ballgame. Grok 5 is said to have a native context window of 1.5 million tokens. Think of the context window as its short-term memory. This means it could process an entire book, a massive software code base, or hours of conversation in a single pass without losing track of what's going on. That's nearly 4 times more than its closest competitor.
And all that power, it has a cost. A very real physical cost. This supercluster is projected to have a power draw of about 1 gigawatts. And that's no exaggeration. That is enough electricity to keep the lights on for tens of thousands of homes. The sheer physical footprint of this AI is, well, it's staggering.
But look, scale is completely meaningless unless it translates into brand new capabilities, right? So let's move on and see how all this hardware builds into something fundamentally different. We're shifting from just how big the machine is to what it can actually do.
The key promise of Grok 5 is this idea called real-time multimodal understanding. I know, it sounds like marketing jargon, but it's not. It means this AI is being designed from the ground up to perceive the world as it happens, processing not just text and images, but live streaming video and audio with a response time that's faster than a blink of an eye.
And to prove this wasn't just a theory, Musk's team actually showed it off. Imagine this. Grok 5 watched a live 30-second video feed from a drone. In real time, it identified dozens of different objects, analyzed the traffic patterns, spotted potential dangers, and then plotted the best route through it all. It didn't just see a series of images. It understood motion, context, and change over time.
But here's the most radical part. You know how every other major AI has a fixed knowledge cutoff date? Well, Grok 5 is continuously learning. It's being fed a live diet of data directly from X, over 100 million posts and videos every single day. This means its knowledge never goes stale. You could ask it what happened an hour ago, and it would actually know.
A system this powerful doesn't just enter an empty arena. To truly understand what Grok 5 is, we have to see how it stacks up against the current champions. So, let's put this beast into context.
This table really lays it all out. You've got GPT 5.2, the king of professional tasks. You have Gemini 3, which excels at deep reasoning, and Claude 4.5 is a master of coding. They're all competing on pretty similar fronts. But now, look at Grok 5's column. It's playing a completely different game. It's betting everything on live data and real-time world knowledge, lanes where, right now, it has zero competition.
And this, of course, brings us to the ultimate question. With all this power, all this live data, is this the path to true artificial general intelligence, or is it just the world's most expensive dead end? This is the high-stakes gamble at the very heart of this project.
Elon Musk has publicly stated that he believes Grok 5 has a 10% chance, and he says that number is rising, of achieving AGI. Now that is a provocative claim that has absolutely ignited a fierce debate among the experts. Is he seeing something that others aren't, or is it just hype?
This really brings us to a fundamental split in AI philosophy. On one side, you have what's called the scaling hypothesis. It's this belief that if you just make the model big enough and throw enough data at it, intelligence will eventually just emerge. But on the other side, experts are warning that these scaling laws are showing diminishing returns. They argue you can't just brute force your way to consciousness.
One analyst made this fascinating historical comparison: the battleship Yamato. It was an engineering marvel, the absolute apex of battleship design, but it was launched just as aircraft carriers completely changed the game, making its entire philosophy obsolete. So the question is, could Grok 5 be the Yamato of AI, the absolute peak of the scaling paradigm right before the world shifts to a completely new approach?
So let's bring all this out of the abstract and back down to our reality. Assuming it launches, and it works as advertised, how will this almost godlike technology actually show up in your day-to-day life?
So where will you first meet Grok 5? Well, likely in a couple of places. On X, it'll probably be a hyper-intelligent curator for your feed and a conversational assistant. In a Tesla, it could be a voice assistant that has genuine situational awareness. It can understand its surroundings because it's been trained on millions of hours of driving video. And beyond that, it's the brain intended to power the Optimus robots and even Neuralink interfaces.
But all of this power, it comes with monumental risks. Training an AI on what experts are calling a chaotic social media stream is genuinely uncharted territory. I mean, how do you stop it from learning and then amplifying misinformation and our own biases at a massive scale? This creates a huge challenge for safety, and it opens the door to all kinds of manipulative feedback loops between us and the machine.
And so we're left with that central, nagging question. Is this colossal bet on pure scale the breakthrough that we've all been waiting for, or is it just an incredibly expensive lesson in the limits of brute force? A blueprint for the most powerful, yet obsolete machine ever built.
The answer, whenever it arrives, is going to define the next era of technology. We're going to learn something really important either way. If you liked the video, subscribe, leave a like, comment on what you liked most, and share the video. We'll see you in the next one.